Have you always wanted to practice yoga or try yoga, but you just weren't sure or didn't have the confidence? Well, no matter where you are in your practice, for a complete beginner and beyond, today's practice is for you. Welcome to Yoga Bliss with Shelly, and I am Shelly. Grab your mat, unroll the edges, and let's get into this practice for complete beginners. Namaste. Namaste, friends. Join me in your favorite crisscross applesauce. If you have a couch pillow or a little couch blanket, I highly recommend you pausing this video and grabbing that. And the pillow is just under those sit bones. So if you paused and came back under those sit bones, and you just kind of want to sit like on a little bit of a ledge, so tilting that pelvis forward. I invite you for today's practice to forget about everything that you think that you know about yoga, all the images and what you perceive a yogi to look like. This is about you trying something new and being open to something. So find a crisscross applesauce. It doesn't have to look like mine. It doesn't have to be a lotus. It can be just crisscrossing. Wiggle around and find what feels good. Move the meaty part of the booty, and some of us have meatier booties than others. Move that meaty part of the booty away. Just allow yourself to wiggle out the spine a little bit here. And slowly finding a little stillness as we join in our pranayama. In yoga, we use pranayama, which is our breath and our life force, and we're combining them together. So as you ground down into your seat, you can try on a new mudra, which is Anjali Mudra, or the prayer hands, by just gently inhaling and tucking the navel in towards the spine and just gently floating the arms up. So if you're not quite sure what to do with your hands, like Ron Burgundy, I don't know what to do with my hands, Will Ferrell, you can just slowly sweep them up. It's almost like a breaststroke. My son has been taking swimming lessons. You can float them up to the center, or if you would like to do something a little bit bigger and brighter, you can inhale, floating the arms up high to the sky, palms kissing palm, big starfish hands, and just drive the thumbs towards the heart. And you're making contact with the thumbs and just kind of pressing into the heart. If you have any necklaces or malas, you can just kind of move those around. And I really invite you today, my friend, if you have glasses, you can kind of peel those off, take those off, put them to the side. And I invite you to tune into your body and how you're feeling today. And just as you wiggle down, just acknowledging and honoring any feelings or emotions that you may be experiencing. And just gently tucking the chin into the heart. And I always like to begin my practices by saying namaste. Namaste to myself, and namaste to my fellow friends and yogi practitioners. And allowing yourself to bring a breath into your hearts and expanding at the ribs. And exhaling with an audible sound. And setting an intention for yourself today. Grabbing onto that very first thought that comes in. And taking a moment to pause in between the thoughts. Still breathing that breath in. And letting it melt. Humbly tucking the chin in towards your chest. Cultivating that intention. Together we are beginning to learn how to set an intention to set us up for a good practice, to set us up to do better and to be our best that we can be today. Breathing that breath into that heart center and letting it float away. Wonderful work, my friends. Exhale, floating the arms down to the earth. And now just take a moment to wiggle out your spine. And I ask for you just to tune in and just notice if you're feeling any pain or any discomfort in your body, and just be okay with that. I know this is your practice. You don't have to be exactly where I am. You don't have to try to think of exactly what you think of the pose is supposed to look like. It's a feeling and tuning into your body kind of thing. Inhaling as we interlace those fingers together. So big interlace. Exhaling, diving the hands down towards the heels of the feet as you find length and integrity in that spine. Most of us are very slumped over. We're on our phones, we're driving, on computers. So there's a lot of arched and curved spines in our culture. As you inhale, lift that heart. I always tell my kids, pull your heart light up. Find a long line of energy from your sit bones all the way up through the heart, through the head to the tippity top of the head. And you can actually find quite a lot of activation. You can kegel, you can squeeze that space in between. For men, in between the testicles and the anus. For women, in between the vagina and the anus, just tightening that up. And just imagining a zipper going from the belly button up to the chin as the hands are interlaced down. On the inhale, inhale, floating and pushing the arms towards me. As you're pushing the arms towards me, pause here for a peaceful moment, taking a breath into the heart, filling up that belly and then letting it go. As you inhale one more time, raising the arms overhead. And if you have any shoulder injuries, you can pause and just flow to what feels good for you. This is not a one-size-fits-all. Yoga is unique to you and your body. So as we inhale, pausing up at the top, and up at the top, taking some tick-tocks, following me to the left as you're compressing the body at one side and expanding at the other. If this is too much, my friends, you can pause here. You can even rest the back of the hands interlaced on the top of your head. Big breath in. And focusing on the exhale this time. Bringing that inhale in. And really working on lengthening the exhale. Each time, letting go of some yucky thoughts or feelings that no longer serves you. Gently inhaling, pushing palms of the hands, raising up high to the sky, if that works for you. Talking back, tick-tocking, tick-tock, back to center. Pausing here, a peaceful moment. Exhaling, arms straight down, pushing out horizontally. Shoulders and arms are parallel to the earth. Exhaling down to the floor. And just noticing how that feels, wiggling out the shoulders here. Maybe you could give your neck a little love. Maybe we can pause here in between and just roll out the wrists. Yoga isn't about slamming into all these crazy moves, these strong powerhouse moves, which we will practice later, but we can't fit everything into one practice, and we have to start somewhere here. So maybe just giving yourself a gentle roll of the shoulders by bringing the shoulders up high towards the ears and exhaling down and really feeling that those sit bones connected to the earth. Inhale, rolling forward and around. Exhaling back, opening up the front of the heart, squeezing the shoulder blades together, exhaling down. Taking a few of those at your own pace, really tuning into opening the shoulders and compressing and then opening up the chest. Inhale to raise it up. Exhale to sink. And now pausing in the moment, in this little moment, and reversing. So I was going backwards and now forwards. Inhale, raising it up and going. Just rolling with the shoulders, giving love and attention to those shoulder joints. Our joints are super awesome. And we just need to give them more love because we take so much of our amazing bodies for granted, and it's time to give some love to our bodies by creating a new practice because it's time to try something new. So gently interlacing the fingers together, pushing the palms down towards the earth, my friends. Finding a little length in the arms as you bend the elbows. In yoga, we always want a soft bend to the elbows, a soft bend to the knees. You might hear kids scurrying around because it's summer and my kids are here, but they're doing their best to be quiet so I can practice with you and show up for you. So as you press down, really activate that core by coursing that core strength. Inhale, squeezing through those sit bones, zipping it. Exhale, exhale or inhale. This is the thing too, is sometimes we get so locked up in, oh my gosh, I can't exhale or inhale when my teacher is. Just exhale or inhale what feels good for you. And pausing here, pressing the palms out towards the screen. Pausing, a big breath here. Inhaling, arms raised above the head, or if we need to stay here, that's great. And pausing here, breathing 2 deep breaths into that heart center. And letting it go. Inhale, pushing those hands up high to the sky, talking to the right side, compressing the side body at the right and expanding at the left, feeling those intercostal muscles, which is just that little webbing between the ribs, this really incredible muscle that I never realized existed until I took anatomy in my teacher training, and it was pretty cool. Cool realization. Exhaling back to center. Inhale, unhooking, unlacing those hands. Exhaling from the core, twisting to the left side, gently floating those hands down. Opposite hand on knee, opposite hand, left hand down to the earth, my friends. And this is one of those poses where we can try to compromise the integrity of the spine by cranking or trying to do a move that we think is so cool. But take it to your space, your happy edge, that space between too much and not enough, and just gently peeking the head to the side, to the short edge of your mat here. I wouldn't even kind of push it and try to look over that shoulder. If that feels good for you, you can go and try to push that boundary of looking over that shoulder, but just, it simply is enough, hi Jackie, by looking over, that's my Jack, if you just saw him, he's my 5-year-old, looking to that short edge of the mat here, breathing in a big breath that just radiates all the way from your upper chest to your ribs, all the way down into that belly, expanding, and letting it flow all the way up, breathing that breath in and filling up the upper chest, the middle body, and all the way down to the belly, and just letting it go for a complete yogic breath. In yoga asanas, when we twist, it is like cleansing and cleaning, detoxifying out our internal organs. So it's so important, and it doesn't have to be something so big and so fancy. It's the simple things that keep us healthy and focused. Inhale, floating those hands up above, high neutral. And if hands are only here, this is fine. Elbows parallel to the floor. That's what needs to happen. That's what needs to happen. Inhale, hands up high. Exhale, twisting from that core to the right side. Left hand rests on the knee. Right hand is just gently behind you. And again, not compromising the integrity of the spine by trying to twist and arch back so far, if you kind of want to see if you're arched back so far. And if that pillow is getting a little uncomfortable, you can squish that over, which I'm going to do. And gently looking to the right side of your mat and finding length in that spine all the way from the sit bones to the tippity top of the head, bringing in a breath that fills up the upper chest, expands at the ribs, and radiates all the way to the low belly. And then letting that breath come up fully and completely. Pausing here, bringing a big breath all the way into that body. And letting it go. And if you want to test yourself, try closing your eyes. Testing. And notice how it feels. It feels tighter on one side. It feels stronger on one side. It feels naturally more flexible. If you attempted to look over the shoulder of the other side, you may try. Or you might just find it being enough to just gaze at the short edge of your mat here. One more big breath into the center of the heart and letting it go. Gently inhale, floating those arms up high to the sky and floating back down. Coming in and joining me in a tabletop position. And this looks different for everyone, so trying to get on hands and knees however it looks best for you. I have been practicing for about 5 years now, so I can do things more now than I couldn't before. So join me by grabbing that blanket. The blanket is here to protect your knees. I'm on carpet here, so my floors are a little squishier, but I know when I practice on hard floors, it's really hard to protect our joints. So if you can, try this fun move. My legs are in crisscross, and I'm just gonna use the core and kind of walk forward, and you can even use your elbows and baby crawl forward and get onto those knees. Or if that doesn't work, you can swing those legs around the side. So try what works best for you, or maybe try something new by crawling forward and joining me in this tabletop position. So just getting comfy in your mat, so by situating that blanket and finding a proper alignment for your body. But inhale, raising a big wide open starfish hand. I like to raise one up high to the sky, bringing awareness, waving at myself, hello self. And exhale, pressing that hand firmly into the earth. So by pressing in at the thumb and the pointer and extending all the way to the pinky. Depending on your shoulder width, you might want to let that pinky hang over the mat. I have really wide shoulders and just really big bones, I always have. So I need a wider stance in my mat. Inhale, raising the opposite arm up, planting that starfish hand into the earth, pushing, grounding through the thumb, the pointer, and extending all the way through the pinky. And gently rolling the eyes of the elbow. So this is the eyes of the elbow. If you would like to know eye, it's your eye. It's like seeing for you. So you're just gently rolling out. Biceps are the big muscles up top. You're just gently rolling those biceps up. And you're going to tune into your knee alignment over your hips. So you just want the knees aligned over the hip creases here. And tuning into that core and just really finding that alignment. And you can tune your feet up or you can lay the feet down on the earth. Just really check in and see what feels best here in this body. As you can corset that core strength, we're gently just going to inhale, raising up, flexing and arching the spine, tucking the chin in towards the tail, which is just another word for sit bones or the spine. So you're just creating this big, huge arch like a cat. We've all seen a cat stretching and looking so lovely, and maybe you want to do a little cat move with your hands. You can get a little fluid and flexible, a little creative, a little expression of yourself here. And taking some breaths here, just inhaling it in and letting it sink out. Just breathing an organic breath in. And on the next exhale, diving the belly button down, tuning into the elbows if they are turning in, pressing them out, allowing the navel to drop towards the earth and switching that spinal flexion. And now we're making more of a bowl, and we are just sticking our booty, but the badunka-dunk up, pushing the chin up high to the sky. And just really tuning into that flexion of the spine and just realizing what it feels like in your knees, in your feet, and maybe you want to try dropping the feet down if that feels best for you, if you want more of a stretch in the top of the foot. And just tuning into that breath here, reaching that chin high to the sky. Now inhale and find a few variations of cow and cat for yourself. Don't follow me. Don't even look at this screen. I invite you to just flow with your breath in your own spine. I think sometimes we hinder ourselves when we are doing home practices and watching videos and watching other people thinking, I must keep up with this person. And if I don't do what they've done, then I have failed, and you haven't. It's not true. We've got to let the big F-bomb, the failure word, out and know that we are a success in our life because we are choosing to show up just like you're showing up and as you're beginning a new practice for yourself. And exhaling it out. And just gently wagging out your tail here, just slowly, slowly, slowly. And coming in for this next pose is going to look different for everyone. So touching the big toes together, opening the knees up wide to the mat, and sinking those sit bones back towards the heels. But know that this is not the same for everyone. I know my husband has to keep his booty up high, and some people with hip injuries cannot sink down towards the earth. So gently, you can sink the arms forward, all the way forward for the devotional pose, or you may have heard of as a more popular term, the child's pose is going to be arms are behind you. So this is also another opportunity where you can utilize that pillow. The pillow can go under your booty if you're not feeling like you're having all of that mobility in the back. Or you can grab that pillow and bring that forward, and you can hug your pillow in a more restorative child's pose for Balasana. So just allowing your body to just find stillness. You can close the eyes, soften the gaze, breathing in a big breath that opens up the back of the ribs and letting it go. You're doing so good. I'm so proud of you for showing up to begin something new for yourself. as you pause here, just for these peaceful moments, inhaling that breath into the body and letting it go. Cycle with your breath one more time and letting it go. Wonderful work, my friends. Gently walking the hands forward and moving that pillow out to the side and just gently exhaling the forearms forward. So forearms are going to lay forward, big wide open starfish hands, and just gently walking backwards. And we're just getting comfortable here, friends, feeling what it feels like in our shoulders. If you want to, you can just gently sink your head to the earth, or if it feels better, you can sink your heart to the earth and just really feeling what it feels like in your shoulders here for this more playful puppy. You've seen a little puppy in this pose, just building up that strength in those shoulders, cultivating strength for a downward dog. I know you've seen a downward dog, and that can be one of those poses that can be a little bit more difficult for the beginner. So practicing down low like this can help us kind of gain that strength in our own body here. Gently inhaling the hands into the earth. Big wide open starfish hand here. Exhaling the hind foot long and just tuning into the body and what it feels like for just this half plank variation. So a plank, as you may know, is really strong and grounded, but for the beginner it can be really tricky. So let's just build our strength. Exhale, soft bend to the elbows here, and just feeling what it feels like to have one foot back, or we can just stay here on the knees here, just cultivating that strength for that plank pose here. Inhale, bringing one knee to the earth and allowing the opposite to go long. So we're kind of envisioning ourselves super strong in this plank pose here. Really working at cultivating strength in our hamstring, our calf, our booty, our core. Just really working at knowing that we can do hard things. That when we start with baby steps and beginner steps, we can do all the things. And from here, posting the feet onto the earth, and I'm just gently gonna sit back on my heels, and this might be something that you can do or something that you can't do. As I sit back on my heels, I'm gently just going to peel my blanket out of the way. So from the heels, tuning that core strength in by activating that core strength and walking those hands forward, and just very so slightly as you tune into the hands of the earth, peeling up for a downward facing dog. So it's gently just pushing those sit bones high up towards the sky, peeling up that core, opening up the shoulder blades, finding a long line of energy from the head to the sit bones all the way down to the feet. And just keeping a bend to the knees for now. Again, forget about everything that you think that you know about yoga and seeing people in downward facing dogs, and just pedal out the feet here, breathing the breath, really powering as you're pushing through and opening up through, as you're grounding through the thumbs to the pointers all the way through the pinkies. I know that it's easy to get lazy in our hand, but really I want you to peek forward to your hands and make sure that they are strong and rooted into the earth, because they're like your feet, your other feet, like your four-legged friend. And just taking a moment here as you're pedaling out the feet. Big breath in, letting it go, and just slowly walking feet forward. Whatever this looks like for you, this might be a really big challenge, and that's okay. And just joining me in a forward fold, which is just folding forward. If you have tighter hamstring, keeping a really generous bend to the knees as you root your feet into the earth. In yoga, there's four corners to the feet, 2 in the front pad, 2 in the heel. So really press those into the earth and just feel connected to the earth here. And as you gently raise, just gently raising up that spine. Joining me in a standing pose, which is your Tadasana. I'm going to meet you at the front of my mat. So Tadasana is a foundational pose in yoga where we allow ourselves just to ground in. Feet are inside of the hips. I always thought hip distance was feet outside the hips, so inside the hips. Allowing yourself to find a little length and strength in the spine. And I like to envision just like a zipper. I'm running a zipper from my feet all the way to my hips and all the way up, zip, to the top of my head. So joining me in Tadasana and just allowing yourself to just feel how you're feeling here. Rolling out those shoulders like we did in the beginning of the practice. Just rooting, allowing the chin to drop forward. Taking in a big breath here and exhaling it back. As we exhale, allowing the back of the head to drop to the back body. And maybe just walking out the feet here. I know sometimes the mind likes to go crazy. Exhaling to center. Inhale to the left. Just head. We're just doing head. Maybe you want to roll out your wrists here. Maybe the mind's getting crazy, so bring the attention to the body and the breath. Allowing yourself to let go of those thoughts. Inhaling to neutral. Exhaling to the right side. Just rolling out the wrists. Giving love to those wrists. Maybe pushing one palm forward by grabbing the back of the palm. Sometimes those downward dogs can be kind of brutal on our wrists if we're not used to using our wrists. So you can just gently, just stretch with one hand pulling back. Inhaling to neutral. Exhaling, the right foot facing the short edge of the mat. And the left foot is going to face the corner of the mat. So the toe is going to face the corner of the left foot. The right foot is going to be facing the short edge of the mat. Hands on the hips, hips facing forward, bending into that knee and just tuning into your body. Sometimes we can be really shallow or we can be really bendy or really tight and we're not sure. The goal of this is to get that knee forward, that we want to peek down and only see the tip of the toe. And eventually we want that leg to be parallel to the earth, but we have to start somewhere. Giving a generous bend to that hind leg, really rooting those four corners of feet into the earth. Inhale, hands to the hips, heart facing the short edge of the mat. And bam, friends, we are in Virabhadrasana 1, your first official standing yoga pose. Give yourself a big, I did it, I am awesome. And if you would like to, you can inhale, fully jam out this Virabhadrasana 1, arms up high. And I like to say affirmations in my practice, and I like to say, I am strong inside. I am a warrior. So repeat those words to yourself. You can inhale, raising. So notice how sometimes the arms like to go forward. So just notice, where are your arms? So see if they want to go forward, or see if you can inhale, raising them back past the ears and keeping them up high by the shoulders, shoulders by ears. And repeating, I am strong. I am a warrior. And gently transitioning by opening up the arms and gently opening up just that hind leg. So the hind foot is now facing the long edge of the mat. The front foot has not gone anywhere. Simple, slight transition to opening up the hips. Hips were forward, hips are now open. And really tune into, if you are feeling wobbly, like you're on a tightrope, open those feet up like you are more on a set of skis. Open the hips up wide. If you would like, you can keep hands on hips, or you can exhale, arms long and strong, heart over hips, head aligned over that beautiful heart of yours, that beautiful beating heart, allowing yourself to find your inner strength, your inner powerful warrior. And I like to imagine I'm pressing like an activate button on my middle finger, and it runs like a long line of energy. Pew, pew, pew. This is like my lightsaber, because I'm a Jedi. Yes, I am. Like the beautiful Rey. My arms are long and strong. Beautiful work, my friends. Pausing here, big breath in. Letting it float out. Exhale, both feet facing me. So just gently kind of rearranging the feet, both feet facing me. Now just doing a soft transition to left foot facing the short edge of the mat. And we're just going to reverse it so it doesn't get so cray-cray. So we're going to do the warrior 2 first and then the warrior 1, because our foot is already opened up facing the long edge of the mat, and so are our hips. So this transition, really root those feet into the four corners of the the earth on both sides, and imagine pulling that mat apart. Lengthen those arms long and strong, pressing that lightsaber, that zoop, inner Jedi. And really, as you peek down, you just want to see the tip of that toe, but if you need to stay up here a little bit, that is fine. And really trying your best to pull those thighs open, even though they're going to try to collapse. Find that length of energy, pulling that core strength, long and strong, and repeating inside, I am strong, I am strong, I am a warrior. Beautiful work, my warrior. And exhaling, you're just slowly making a transition. I'm just going to heel and bump that heel and move that toe to the opposite corner. Soft bend to the knee. So toes are now facing the edge of the mat. Hips are hands on hips, hips facing the short edge of the mat. Feel that in the body. Inhaling in, peeking down, finding that inner strength, that inner warrior. Inhale if you would like to, floating those arms up high, shoulders behind the ears, and repeating to yourself, I am strong, I am a warrior. Wonderful work, my warriors. Big breath in here, letting it float down. Exhale, both feet facing forward. And in yoga, you might hear the phrase, heel toe, heel toe. What does that mean? Just simple, watch. Heels in, toes in. Woo! And if you lose your balance, it's okay, because even your yoga instructor does. Heel toe to standing. Joining me in that Tadasana, feet inside of the hips for our final pose of the mountain pose. Inhale, if you want to come in for more of that breaststroke, let's practice that. Diving the arms out to the side, palms kissing palms to the heart center. Exhaling, giving ourselves so much gratitude as we humbly tuck the chin to the heart, thanking that intention, allowing that intention to carry with us today, that intention that we awakened at the beginning of this practice. And allowing yourself to simply just feel how you're feeling, and knowing that starting something new can be challenging. So I encourage you, my friends, to come back to this video for the next week, for the next 5 days. Tune back into this practice for beginners for the next 5 days, so you can really get a grasp on the basics and the foundations of yoga, and we can move on and practice together. I'm so grateful for you, and I know that showing up is the hardest part. So you did it, you're already here, you showed up. I want you to exhale those arms long and strong and wrapping them around your arms, and give yourself a big old hug, and maybe jump up and down a little bit and side to side and say, thank you, I did it, because I'm awesome, I showed up. From here, one more time, doing that whoosh. My son is doing swimming lessons, swimming team, and the breaststroke I'm learning is out and then in. So we're gonna breaststroke, hands to the heart center, and honoring, acknowledging the love and the light within you, honors and acknowledges the love and the light within me. Namaste, my friends.